Well, you're gonna love this one. These days, it feels like reporters are tripping over themselves to push the woke agenda, twisting stories to fit the narratives instead of reporting the facts. But here's the twist. Even people in the sports world who usually steer clear of politics are starting to call them out. From players to coaches, they're not holding back, putting their reporters in their place with brutal honesty. Today, we're covering some of those amazing moments, and you won't believe what Ronda Rousey responded when she was asked a question about the gender pay gap. As always, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this.
Because you are the first black head coach to go to a national championship game in college football. Congratulations. Just hearing that response alone, how much does this mean to you?
You know, I've said this before. I don't ever want to take attention away from the team. It is an honor, and I hope all coaches, minorities, black, Asian, white, it doesn't matter. Great people continue to get opportunities to lead young men like this. But this ain't about me. This is about us. And we're going to celebrate what we've done because it's something special.
That's ESPN reporter Molly McGrath race-baiting Notre Dame's head coach Marcus Freeman after their incredible victory over Penn State just a few days ago. People on X were having a field day with it, where Charlie Kirk replied to a clip of the interview saying, quote, "That answer right there is a big reason why he's been successful." And another person adding, quote, "His response is perfect. Stop letting them divide us by color of our skin. Stop letting them divide us at all." And so ESPN, if you happen to be watching this, can you stop with the woke BS and just stick to reporting on sports? Next, we have Dana White shutting down a reporter on trying to paint him as an advocate for censorship.
Dana, I just want to go back. You were talking about, like, you obviously give a long leash to your fighters about, what they can say when they are up there with a UFC microphone. Is there...
I don't give anybody a leash.
Well, I'm saying you...
A leash?
I'm like...
Free speech. Control what people say. Going to tell people what to believe. Going to tell people... I don't tell any other human being what to say, what to think, and there's no leashes on any of them. What is your question?
I was asking that question. I'll move on, though.
Yeah, probably a good idea. That's ridiculous to say I give somebody a leash. Free speech, brother. People can say whatever they want, and they can believe whatever they want. And I don't think there's any... We had two gay women who fought in the co-main event. They sat on the stage with Sean Strickland. They could give a shit what Sean Strickland thinks, or what he says, or what his beliefs are, or what his opinions are.
I'm more than sure that after all that explanation, he still doesn't know what Dana meant here, because simply put, that's not how modern day reporters think. Honestly, it's mind-blowing that anyone would need to explain the concept of free speech, especially to a journalist of all people. That should be on Journalism 101, right? But here's where we are, watching someone try to explain one of the most basic principles of a free society to someone who's supposed to be its defender, but it wasn't just journalist Dana had to school on the concept, because a sponsor also came to him with a completely outlandish request, to which he replied with this.
This happened to me. I posted a video for Trump, right, on my personal social media, and one of our big sponsors called and said, "Take that down." You know what I said? Go f yourself. Yeah. You vote for whoever you want to vote for, and I'll vote for whoever I want to vote for. That's how this works. I don't even care who you're voting for. It's none of my business.
Yeah.
Don't ever call me and tell me who to vote for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel in fear these days, A lot of people feel in fear that if they don't vote for certain people, they're going to lose their jobs. Yeah. I mean, it's Hollywood, for example.
Think about how crazy that is.
It sounds insane. It sounds just like...
Well, it'll keep happening unless more people stand up for themselves and give them the you response.
This was during his appearance on the Theo Vaughn podcast back in 2023, and this segment aged like fine wine. You see, sponsors these days seem to think signing a check gives them full control over someone's life. It's no longer just about branding or a professional relationship. It's about dictating behavior, opinions, and even personal values. They act like their money entitles them to own the person they're sponsoring, forgetting that sponsorship is supposed to be a partnership, not a leash, as some would like to put it. Hearing this story, Theo shared one of his own sponsors, which led to a legendary reaction from Dana.
I love that, man. Yeah, because we had Robert Kennedy Jr. on, and we had a company call, or a couple companies call after that and say, just stuff about him. We're not advertising on this episode. My advertiser's like, you guys need to take the episode down, And we ended up...
And what's wrong with him?
Nothing.
Nothing. Guy's brilliant.
And I've known
Guy's
him
a smart
I've known him
guy.
for 7 years. Great guy.
It was Peloton?
was the people who wanted an ad out. Peloton. And meanwhile, you have RFK
So
Jr.
Peloton,
Yeah.
what do they sell? Fucking bikes, the stationary bikes?
Yeah, dude.
Peloton sells stationary bikes, and they got a problem with Robert Kennedy. Peloton. Who the fuck are they?
Yeah.
Do we have Pelotons in the gym? Are those Peloton? Asports. No, there's bikes next to it. Asports. Yeah. We're getting rid of them.
Yep.
We're getting rid of the Pelotons.
Yeah, and if they ever mail me...
Sorry he's going to kill himself, but we're getting rid of the Pelotons.
Hey, look.
Pelotons are out of the gym.
And just like that, Pelotons were gone from the UFC gym and replaced with echelons. A spokesperson for the company disputed Theo's claims and told Fox Digital News that, quote, the company pulled its advertising due to the comedian's content going against the company's brand safety guidelines. Okay. I've noticed, by the way, you haven't liked the video or subscribed to the channel yet, so what are you waiting for? Next, we have Ronda Rousey shutting down a reporter for trying to establish a weird comparison between her and Floyd Mayweather.
We talk about separate but equal, but, having even mentioned the Floyd Mayweather fight, they walked away with, hundreds of millions of dollars at stake. You being at the height of your sport, maybe make $1 million at most per fight. Does that anger you, and what can we do to change that?
I don't like to talk about exactly how much money I make, but I'm extremely comfortable and happy.
You are?
Yes.
Okay. So
and if I got to a point where I had almost 50 fights, I would probably be making close to the same amount of money that Floyd does. But at this point, I have 11. So I can't expect it to be exactly equal yet. I don't think. I have to put more time in.
Comparing what Floyd Mayweather made to what Ronda earned is like comparing apples to oranges. It's simply wrong on so many levels. While both are legends in their own right, they come from completely different sports with entirely different pay structures, fan bases, and revenue models. Mayweather had fought in his sport with a long history of massive pay-per-view events, multi-million-dollar sponsorship deals, and global fan engagement. Boxing has been a blockbuster event for decades now. On the other hand, Ronda made her mark in the UFC, which is a sport that is still relatively young. And the pay structures are also different, so yeah, getting some perspective is vital before making this wild argument. Ronda also shut down another reporter who tried to portray the UFC as a violent sport.
And there's so many ridiculous arguments that MMA is somehow anti-woman. And fighting's not a man's thing, it's a human thing. To say that it's anti-woman, I think, is an anti-feminist statement. And the UFC, I'm the biggest draw in the sport and I'm a woman. How is that anti-woman?
You are the biggest draw, and 14 seconds, as Charles Barkley was saying, and you're setting a record, breaking your own record. But there are critics. There are people who just say, hey, for men or women, it's just too violent of a sport. How do you respond to that?
Well, they don't really understand the sport itself and see the art in it. I'm a two-time Olympian. I'm an Olympic medalist, and when I was doing judo, the exact same things that I really apply in MMA, I was celebrated as an American hero, and somehow when I do it for money and not costing me money, I'm a barbarian now. It's called martial arts for a reason. There's an art to it. It's not a brawl. It's a beautiful thing.
Do you know who called MMA and by extension UFC violent? It was New York politicians who banned the sport in the state and were the last state to legislate it back in 2016. But that's a story for another day. I'd love to know the clips that was your favorite, so let me know in the comments below. And if you liked the video, we made another one where athletes take down more woke reporters, so check that out here today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.